Hi, I'm Tom.
And I'm Molly.
Welcome to Friends at Gameology, hosted by friends at Gameology.com.
Reviews for science.
In some nebulous amount of time or less? Because this isn't reviews.
Oh, I was totally... Something on the screen popped around your face and it's focusing on you, so I think I'm blurry. And so I was focusing on what that was. So I was on autopilot.
So you autopiloted it. Well, now the internet knows that we're looking at ourselves.
I feel like I'm blurry.
We see ourselves, and that's why I'm always so good at looking at the camera, because I'm just looking at me. Because it looks like I'm looking at you, it's just I'm looking deep into my own eyes. Anyway, let's talk March Madness. And let's talk March Madness right now. What
it's March.
Yeah.
Yeah, as
of the time of filming, this is the first day of March. I assume this will be edited and released on the second day of March. I think March Madness starts on the 13th.
Google will tell us.
Yeah, I'm not Googling right now.
But it's definitely spring break week for a lot of college. I don't know. And people don't have spring break at the same time, but yeah.
Anyway, so the thing is, we need to get this out quick. Not this whole thing, but just to say this so the people who would normally leave right now would hear this before they go.
Why would they click on? Okay.
Because they're like, ew, March Madness. I'm not a basketball fan. To which I say...
Shame on you.
No, I can get that. I can get behind that.
That's all right.
You do you. You do you. But... prizes. Last year we did like a $10 gift certificate to Stephen Yates because he totally beat me at the last minute.
I think I had a tiny chance of winning.
I had a huge chance of winning. I just needed the last game to go my way, and it didn't go. Anyway, this year we contacted a whole bunch of publishers that published games that we reviewed and we both liked. So I contacted a bunch of people, and 7 publishers came back and said they would donate games. I'll read off those games and the list of publishers. So Blade and Brush, who's that by? Arcana Games. Sheriff of Nottingham by Arcane Wonders. Little Wizards. Crafty Games. The Networks. Formal Ferret Games. Let's see. Sellswords. Level 99. Quantum. Passport Game Studios. And Steampunk Rally, Roxley. So I'm very excited because all of those are games that we rated highly and we enjoyed. So those were my criteria when I reached out to people and do they participate in contests and stuff like that. So if you're a publisher and I didn't reach out to you, I feel like your website was clear on what you participated in and whatnot. Point being, for the people that are going to participate, we're going to have 2 separate contests. There's going to be women's and men's round of 64 all the way to the finals. And so we have 7. What we'll do is the top 3 in one and the top 4 in the other are going to get a prize. You can't win 2 prizes, but you have 2 chances to win because you can win in the women's and then bomb in the men's and you get a prize. But if you win in men and women's, you just get 1 and then we'll bump the next person up to get another one. So you can't win 2 of these. But anyway, what's going to happen is I'm going to connect you, the winner, to the company, and they're just going to ship you the game, and you get to choose which one. So first place, we'll figure out between men and women's, we'll flip a coin on air or something and say who gets to choose first. Or no, it'll be highest score. So if the person that won in the women's bracket has a higher score than the person that won in the men's bracket, then that person will get to choose first, and we'll go that way. Anyway,
which some might say is unfair because I feel like the women's is a clear winner.
What?
They're just an undefeated team that's been undefeated for...
Maybe this year's the year.
So
is
many
UConn?
seasons, UConn.
UConn!
So, so I guess... So I just feel like those points might be higher, but maybe not, because it all depends... the other games, getting up to there. That's only one line of games, right? So...
And if ever... yeah.
Anyways.
So, I'm very excited about that. I love March Madness. I love it. I love to participate every year. We can't win the prizes, so even if I get first place... Second place now is going to be the one who wins, but I strive to win every time. It's so much fun. I really enjoy it. And so we got these cool prizes now. Got a bunch of companies that are going to offer to send a game. And stay tuned because that's in about 12 days from the time this airs.
When it starts.
Yeah, well, no. 12 days is when the brackets open.
Oh,
so we can't make picks yet.
And then there's 3 or 4 day window.
Yeah, there's a buffer. So in 12 days, we're going to put out another video saying, make your picks. And we'll put a link that tells, where the bracket is and whatnot. And then It's time. It's super time. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I love March Madness for all the different reasons than Tom.
What are the different reasons?
I just love to watch all the basketball.
Yeah, sometimes I actually do March Madness and I only follow along in the bracket. I never actually see a game.
You just like the stats.
But I refresh the page and I see the score change and the time go down, but I don't know anything about what's happening.
Oh man, it's a beautiful thing to have so much basketball going on at the same time. I really enjoy it. It was when I was in college, I watched it, but Texas was better then. That's my team, Texas, the University of Texas.
Yeah.
But they have been suffering. Obviously, their football has been suffering, but so has their basketball. But they're coming back. They did have an okay season this year.
Alongside March Madness is Pie Day, so March 14th.
Celebrate. Eat a pie.
This year it's on a Wednesday. I think next year it is too. I think I looked.
It can't be on a Wednesday next year.
Can't it? Isn't there something about...
No, every day moves forward one. Unless it's leap year, then every day moves forward two.
Was this year a leap year?
No. Nope.
What year is it? 2018? Okay,
there won't be a leap year to 2020.
I don't know. My point being is that it's on a Wednesday, so I'm taking the day off of work, but we're gonna actually celebrate. I mean, I celebrate all day long. All I eat is pie. It's gonna be the best. But we're gonna celebrate with a bunch of friends in the evening and just eat pie. It's just gonna be
not just like dessert pie. We do eat lots of that, but there's
Frito pie.
We've never had Frito pie.
Pizza pie.
We have had pizza.
Quiche.
Quiche has been
a big feature.
Yes, and what is it?
Pot pie.
Pot pie. That's what I was thinking. What is the other one? Pot pie.
What are
really,
other edible
you could put
pies?
Anything in a circle dish and bake it and call it a pie, right? Like quiche is not really a pie, but
Isn't
the way
it really
I make
a pie?
it, it's eggs.
Well, I mean, is a pot pie really a pie?
Right, that's my point.
I think it is. It says pie right in the title.
But I feel like pie... Well, quiche doesn't. The point.
Quiche is French for pie.
You're just saying things.
I don't know that, but I assume that.
It's definitely an American thing. Pie is definitely an American thing.
What? No.
Yes.
No. What? People all over the world have pie. Like, isn't, like, France known for their delicatessen and whatever? Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, that's a thing. Like,
they're known for their pastries and whatnot, I think, but not...
And, like, delicious pies. If you're French, or you know someone who's French, or you've ever been to France, will you please just tell us how right I am that the French know their pies? And
I just don't think they originated there. I think... So I lived out of the country, and I lived in Europe for a bit, and then pies just weren't a thing unless you were...
You lived in Northern Europe.
Okay. So I lived in Europe.
France isn't Northern Europe.
Yeah. Okay.
Listen, that's like saying I lived in North America and they didn't have tamales.
I've also been in other places. I've also been in other places in Europe. They definitely have pies, just like they have tacos and all this stuff. Because it's like it's become, you know,
of the two people in this room. I of the two people in this room am the only person who has actually originated from Europe, so I feel like I would know. I feel like I would know. That's just how I feel.
Oh my goodness, you...
Excuse me? What?
So, what I was saying is that I don't think quiche is French for pie.
Oh, it super
But
is.
I think pie's like, the definition, we should look at the definition. I feel like it's gotta have a crust. And some quiches do, but the ones I've made don't.
You know, we often ask you questions. I think we found our question. Usually we don't think of these beforehand.
We just had like 20 questions.
Well, for one, is quiche a pie? Do Europeans as a whole have pie?
No, that's not what I was saying. They definitely do have pie, but it's definitely more of an American thing.
Is pie an American thing? And don't come back with American Pie the movie. I'm not talking about that.
Oh, yeah, no.
I'm talking about like literal edible pie.
I'm also definitely talking about sweet pies.
Okay, yeah. Well, meat pie is a thing.
Right. So I'm definitely talking about sweet pies as being... Well, I think we just call them meat pies. I do not know what they call them there.
I don't think we call meat pies meat pies. I think we call those, like, pot pies.
We call them pies. Do they call them meat pies?
Yeah,
it's Scottish, right?
I don't know. If we have any Scottish people who watch this, or if you know a Scottish person, or if you've ever been to Scotland...
Don't have them watch this, just ask them. They'll probably be super offended.
You think so? Or they'd be like, I'd love to share my culture with these ignorant Americans. Although, of the two people in this room, one of us isn't as American as the other. Molly's way more American than I am.
You are definitely American.
I'm American, but you're like more American.
I don't even know what that means.
Who could possibly know what that means?
Pi Day is a very exciting time.
I guess I'm naturalized.
There's a lot of... Obviously, there are lots of disagreements just within ourselves about Pi Day.
Yeah.
But it's a glorious time to eat lots and lots and lots of pie.
It is my favorite holiday. It's 100%. This encompasses my Christmas and my Thanksgiving. Like, when Thanksgiving rolls around, I get kind of bummed because everyone wants to, like, do Thanksgiving stuff or Christmas stuff that I don't really want to do. But, like, Pi Day, this makes up for it all. This is where I get to have, like, the good times that everyone says they have on these other holidays. Those are the ones they're talking about.
Also, it has been about 11 minutes into a video now, and we have yet to talk about a game. Just pointing it out. Can
I fix that?
I'm just pointing it out.
Well, because this is the news about us. We said from the very first news we aired, we said, we don't know anything about the industry. This news, we said, this is news about us. Do you want to talk more about us?
We don't know anything about the industry.
Didn't we say that?
I'm not disagreeing with it. It just makes me laugh.
We have an infinitesimal knowledge of the industry that any person who visits Reddit r board games regularly will have like more of than us. What we have is personal connection.
Charm.
That's right. We have personal connection with like a lot of Austin-based publishers. Mm-hmm. And we know some people that work with those publishers. And we do play tests with them, and we've got some personal connections just by people who respond to your charity conventions, and some call you and talk to you and whatnot. And so, like, it's a little funny to me whenever people come over and I pull out a game and I'm like, oh yeah, I totally know the designer. Because I feel like it makes me look super pretentious. Just super...
I know the designer of this game.
Exactly. But I kind of am proud of it, and I want to tell somebody, like, it's just a regular dude, and he's a cool guy, and we talk, and it's fun. And so like, we have a personal connection in the industry, but I don't really know, like, say, business facts or upcoming games or...
Yeah, no, it's true. I wasn't disagreeing with
Kickstarter stats or whatever.
It just made me laugh. Like, that. We're like, look, this game, we're like, we don't know anything.
We know us. We know us. And now you know us by virtue of these news segments because it's news about us.
You're welcome.
So I think it was 2016 when you started keeping track of board game stats.
Yes.
So is it called Board Game Stats? The app?
Board Game Stats.
So the app is called Board Game Stats. You may have heard of it.
Yes. BG Stats.
BG Stats. And Molly's been keeping track of it for just 2 years now. Because it was like from the 1st of January of 2016. So we're looking at just over 2 years. And since then... I feel like we try to hammer each other now that our scores are being recorded. Because I don't
know that we do.
No, it's a fact. Whenever we used to play DC deck building game 2-player, if it looked very one-sided,
weird.
I would just say, are you having fun? It doesn't look like you're having fun. Let's just stop. Let's just agree to put this away because I'm killing you. Whenever you would be like, are you having fun? I'm having fun. And I would lose by 2 points and you thought you were wasting me. So I'd be like, I'll play it through. But if ever you was just like, okay, like, there's no break to be had. I can't catch a break here. This is no good. But now that we keep tracking the stats, I feel like we try to obliterate each other. And so the big part of that is that on Star Realms, I like to see a negative overall average score.
What do I have?
That makes me so happy. So I won't like, make Molly discard her hand and then not kill her.
And pick out what cards to buy.
Yeah, that's
unless it goes into your hand.
Right,
in which case that would affect.
I don't do a poor sport way of doing it where like I make the game longer to get a higher score at the expense. No, if you can end the game, you end the game. But I try to end the game big. I try to get a huge swing, scrap everything. Sometimes it's like, okay, you only have 18 life and I'm at 19, and I'm like, I'll scrap this for 23, scrap this. Like, we already know that we already know it's over.
Just end it.
Well, I mean, you do the same.
Because you started it.
Because you started keeping stats. Now I know. What's your overall average?
My average is 2.85.
What's my average?
11.77.
So whenever yours is in the negative, like if I can get scored negative 50 by just hammering, that just makes me so happy.
Negative 50.
I mean, that could happen.
I don't think I've ever scored negative 50.
I have.
Oh, well, that's...
I mean, on someone else. I inflicted that on them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
someone else. It was a friend. It was a friend. You see, you got negative 50. It was a thing. We went through it together. We got him through.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. You're just like, I did that. I did that.
I'm in.
I know. It just
like
sounded
2 different
like it was
leagues.
You.
No, you mean, okay, so like not me, but a
this
friend.
Guy, yeah.
No, I didn't get what you were saying.
This guy right here.
That's completely ungettable.
I'm in 2 different Star Realms leagues. This guy has since this is that second pretentious statement.
So pretentious. I'm so
know
pretentious.
The designer. I'm in 2 Star Realms leagues.
Man, I'll tell you what. I think it's okay to be pretentious if you acknowledge it and then you riff off of it. But if you're like serious uber pretentious, like Molly's making me out to be. Anyway, I want to talk about some of the people that we pay on Patreon. So, well, we have a Patreon, and we have 3 people who pay us monthly.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate it. I super do. Now, of those funds, we, just put it aside and then purchase whatever, new games, equipment, whatevs. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to look that up real quick while Molly talks about a game.
So, the game, we have a bunch of games in front of us that you can't see. The game that I want to talk about is Bang the Dice game. So, this game is infuriating because we've kept some stats and I've played 5 or 6 games in the stats. And of those, I have been the Renegade all but 1 time. And the Renegade is the one that has to win by itself. And it's super hard to play for me. I obviously don't have a strategy because I have not won. I usually die. I'm usually the first or second person to die. And so it is one of the most infuriating games because of that. And we even said the last game we played was recently, it was the other week. And I said, I'm going to be the Renegade. Like, yeah, all of you are laughing. Like, oh yeah, haha, she's been in it this whole time. Or she's been in it so many times. Yeah, right, she'll get it now. And then I was the Renegade. I looked at my card and I thought, well, of course, why did I hope for anything else? Why did I think anything else was going to be different? Because it was not. I was a Renegade again. And I guess I just don't get that rule. So if you have any tips on Bang the Dice game and how to play the Renegade, that would be great because I am bound to be the Renegade again. Like, it just has happened. I looked at the stats afterwards, and I was like, yep, only 1 time was I not. And I still didn't win. I think it was an Outlaw, and the Sheriff and Deputy won. So, I just... This game, everyone's like, I like Bang that, and I just think, so hard for me to like it, because I'm so bad, and I always get the Renegade.
I really like it. I get where somebody wouldn't like it, because the last time I played... I rolled a bunch of arrows. So I took the arrows and rolled more arrows and took those. And then eventually I died because I rolled arrows. I mean, I guess I could have just stopped rolling. Like, ooh, that's a lot of arrows. I'm going to stop here. But it meant that I couldn't do things because I couldn't like shoot people or heal or whatever. So I was rolling these arrows. And so it really took away a bit of the strategy. So I get it. It's dice. Things happen. But man, that's a fun game. And I think it's one of the games where... At least at first, it matters that you keep your identity a secret, because in a lot of social deduction games, I feel like letting people know who you are is better. Like when you play like Tortuga, we played Tortuga, and I was like, okay, I'm going to move the treasure to the French side, but I'm not French, guys. Like, no, I'm super French. That's why I did it, because why would I help the other team? Whereas in this game, it's like I'm going to try to heal the sheriff. Because I don't want the sheriff to die until I've killed the outlaws and the renegades. So like there's actually a reason to obfuscate who you are. I think that's pretty cool. But I get it. The people we support on Patreon are currently Andrew and Diana. They are the talk from superheroes and text from superheroes. They put up. They do a podcast I listen to, and then they put out a bunch of iPhone text messages between fictional superheroes, which are hilarious. So I suggest to go check them out. If you go to our Patreon, you can see all of these people and then check them out. I think they're great. Steve is bored, does a Star Wars RPG review. He does other things too. He started with a bunch of board games, I think. I've looked at a couple of them, but the Star Wars RPG review is just gold. His language is a little not PG-13. It's a little rated R. So like if that bothers you, then I want you to know that before you go in. And then Patrick H. Willems, he does movies where he'll pick apart movies and talk about the artistry and whatnot. And only later in my life did I realize how much I enjoy the artistry of cinema. And not to say that I'm any good at it. Like, I don't think I could make a good movie Like, I wouldn't know the techniques, the camera techniques, the directing, just the lights. I wouldn't know that stuff.
But appreciating something.
But being able to identify it.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing.
Uh-huh. Early on in my life, I really liked a lot of really stupid movies, and I thought they were amazing. And it took me a long time to realize how poorly done they were.
I mean...
Well, like Top Gun. I think Top Gun is not a good movie because the script needs to move it along by saying catchphrases and one-liners. And one-liners are fun. And I like the Fast and the Furious franchise, you know, when The Rock comes in from then onward. Incredible. And so, like, I get it. It's hypocritical for me to talk about in the movie the one-liners. But it's one-liners that I feel like I feel the need for speed. And it's like, now we're flying really quickly to get out of this this other scene. Like, it's just not a great transition. Reason I bring it up is because these days I'm actually watching movies with a critical eye, and it's incredible. So I really like what this guy Patrick is doing. Definitely recommend him. A lot of these things, I think most of these things are free. You don't have to support them. Mm-hmm. You can just go watch their stuff.
Just YouTube, like ours.
Well, one of them is a podcast, so YouTube podcast.
Yeah.
But still, I support him because I think I want them to continue. Like, I don't want them to stop doing what they're doing, because it's just, I think about how much I consume, and what I consume is a lot of entertainment. I mean, I work from home, so I don't drive as much anymore, and there's just a lot of things I don't purchase as much. I purchase games, I file that under entertainment, but I consume a lot of entertainment, and I feel like these guys, they deserve my entertainment dollars. We used to pay the superpowers guy.
Yeah,
but then Drew Hayes,
we bought his books.
Right, so he stopped writing serially. He stopped doing it by, like, blog posts, essentially, and he's gonna just put out books now. So, like, I'll just buy his book, so it comes out in the wash.
It's the same. We're still supporting him.
And we did Dallas Nerd Night? Is that DFW Nerd Night? But I think they stopped producing. They stopped producing, so we stopped there. But they're all great people.
They do a lot of charity work like we do.
Yeah, and one of them, Ace, has come to our convention before a couple years ago. So it was really great to meet him in person. So we used to support a couple different ones, and I think that's going to just happen. We'll support new people as we find them, and then as people stop making content, we'll drop there. But anyway, I definitely highly recommend going and check these out. They've been a lot of good entertainment value for me. And, I mean, when you're there checking them out, you're already on our page. I'm just saying, you're at our page, your Patreon page is all I'm saying. This whole thing was just a long pitch.
Yeah.
We're coming up, we got a little bit of, what are we at, 22-ish now?
Something like that.
I feel like it could be time to end, but I haven't talked about any games yet, except for what you've brought up. Do you have anything you want to bring up before I jump into a couple games?
How many games are you going to talk about?
Maybe 2.
2.
Maybe 2.
No.
Why?
2.
Why?
I just feel like we're coming up on time.
People love this. They're like, we want more. Tell us, do you want more? When right now you're like, no, don't end. I don't want to go back to my dreary job. I just minimize this and I listen to your beautiful voices while the boss is walking past, but I'm enjoying this. And if you stop, I'll have to go back to my spreadsheet.
They're like, right now.
So, Corolla, a province in India, that's what the game is named after. Corolla is the Way of the Elephant game, and it's a tile-laying abstract game. You try to get the most points by having a whole bunch of, like, a patch of colors. So, like, I have a patch of green and a patch of blue, but I don't want to have 2 patches of green because I can only count one of them. The other will be negative, so I'm putting out these tiles in a certain order. And I don't lose this game. I've lost this game 1 time. Am I holding it wrong?
No, you're fine. I lose it all the time. And
have you ever won?
I don't think so. Maybe once. The
very first time you played when I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So I just looked at the back and realized you can stack on top. Not that I didn't know that.
We just never, ever played that.
Like, we played it last night and the night before, and I definitely didn't teach that. That's the only time I didn't, because I have in the past. I've never seen it used, and I think...
I've read the rules twice.
Useful. I know, and so we know it, and we've said it to people, and that's how we teach it. We've just never done it
or seen it done.
And so I'm just thinking, how much would that help me in my gameplay?
Because you wouldn't get negative points.
You wouldn't get negative points, and you'd cover up the useless moving tile points.
Those aren't useless. Those are amazing.
After you use them, they're not the best because it's like, not that placing the same tile elsewhere, you still get those points, right? But being able to,
yeah, I dig this game. I'm digging it a lot. Yeah. It's very simple. We've got to start reviewing this soon, and we've played it like How many times have we played it?
I'm not sure.
10?
I do know, but I can look it up.
Right, so we played it enough.
It's been 10.
Well, I feel like I've played it enough. The other one I'm going to talk about is my favorite game, Chaos in the Old World. My favorite game used to be, I mean, it's changed, of course, but before this, I think it was Battlestar Galactica, and I even said so, I think, in that review. We haven't reviewed this one yet, and I actually don't play it a lot. We played it a weekend ago, and before that, it had been 3 years since I'd played it. It's not one that I think people enjoy as much as I do, that typically come over all at the same time.
Yeah.
So we played with a variety of people in the past, like 3 years ago. We played several times, and I think a lot of people just hated it. I love it. I like games. For one, this is kind of out of my normal spectrum of what I like, in that there's a ton of little rules, a lot of fiddly little rules. And like, I like Corolla. I like games where it's like there's 3 rules, so like we even forgot one of the rules.
Yeah, so it makes it a little bit longer because you've got to go to the rule book.
Or everyone has to know exactly what. Because like I can teach Corolla in 5 minutes.
Yeah. I
can teach this in half an hour. Half an hour, but point being, what I like in these types of games is pursuing different strategies from the outset. I like knowing when I come into the game what I want to do. Say in Corolla, I get handed a tile. What's the strategy that I'm going to pursue this game? The same as I always do. I'm going to try to clump all of my colors together.
Yeah. When you have to roll with the flow. Is that the phrase?
Go with the flow. Roll with the
marbles.
The rolling pin.
Roll with the marbles.
I think it's rolling pin.
As I was saying it, I thought this is not.
I think
correct.
That's the phrase.
Didn't we get corrected on something that was super obvious? We should have known. Okay.
Like a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Either way, you have to go with what you're given in that game for
Roll
sure.
with the punches.
And so that's that type of game. Whereas lots of other games, you have to roll what you're given, but you can also be like, no, I'm gonna do. I'm gonna
go for points versus go for dial completion, whatever.
Right.
This game's out of print. Sadly, I don't think it's ever going to come back because it's a Fantasy Flight game under the Warhammer license, which has since been divided. And it's a super bummer because I feel like a lot of people would enjoy it. I don't think it's super old. This is like maybe a 2013. I can't remember. But I think as we get further away from its publication date, people will think it's old enough to not bother with anymore. I feel like sometimes that happens. I mean, obviously we get stuff like Ticket to Ride that's still going strong. But even now, in the era of modern board gaming, some games that were released in, say, the year 2000, people are just like, I don't really want to try that. When we have this glut of really good games coming out every year. So I really dig this one. I highly recommend it. Like I said, it's out of print, so if you can find a copy that's affordable, I say try it. I say give the old college try, because I really, really dig it.
2011.
2011?
Is that one of his firsts?
Eric M. Lang? I don't know. But I kind of dig some of his stuff.
Yeah.
He made like Rising Sun now and Blood Rage. I haven't played Rising Sun. I played Blood Rage once. Mark, who has appeared on our show, he owns a copy, and I played with him at a convention. It was really fun. I think this is also one where the theme may put people off, because like the guy has got his intestines hanging out right here. So like, I get it, but I dig it. I really like it. Oh man, I just want to talk about a couple more games. We've got time. In Coup Rebellion, when I was the communist and I gave my money to Mark, so he was the target, so Ian had to kill Mark, and then I won because I killed him. It was beautiful, and I loved it so much. And I love saying to Ichi. I love it with all my heart.
With all your heart?
I really dig San Ichi.
It's a fun game.
It's a fun game.
We need to play with people that
know how to play.
Before.
We always teach new people.
Yeah.
We have so many game groups.
Yeah, it's true. So we play the games multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
And the people we play with don't always play them multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
When we had fewer games, they did. Like when it was just Ethan, who's been on the show, and Emily and Dylan, who hasn't been on the show.
But should be. Dylan, just come on down.
Just come on down, fly in for this, and just stay.
Forever.
Forever. We used to have fewer games, and so we would play the same game multiple times in one night. Whereas now, to play the same game multiple times in one night, I think, well, we could do that, but we could also play this. And I think, why? If I'm enjoying this game, why don't I play it again? So, anyways, our gameplays have changed, and so we don't always play the game. And so some games really depend on knowing how to play. So it's like, okay, well, now we taught you, and we'll see you next month.
Yeah.
But we might not play this game again, so...
Because we've played it 10 more times.
In that span. And so we just need them to be like, I played this game and I want to play it again. But, oh, okay, because we have a friend, Eldridge, wants to play Istanbul a lot. So it's great. Now let's play Istanbul, because now we'll get the hang of it. Or with the same people or other people that can get the hang of it. So...
All right, we're almost out of time. I mean to say that it's a nebulous amount of time, so we can let's go for another hour. But I say that mostly because I feel like Molly's doing the old, like, hey, you better with the talking, you better cut that out. But I will say that I am wearing a hoodie for the first time on the show because it's freezing in here. And I've got this long old beard, but it's not freezing outside. It's just our house. So it being the end of winter, the end of winter in Austin, Texas comes early, I think. Like, to other people, they may still have snow.
Oh, man. Yeah, so when I lived in Norway, I was living with someone and she said, oh, it's springtime now. It was April. And I was like, oh, okay, great. I was expecting warmer weather because here in Texas, springtime happens now and it is the 70s. And so I think, yes, we're finally getting there. It's not going to be freezing anymore. And then she continues on with her statement and she goes, yeah, it's when the snow starts to melt. And I was like, because it's in there. It was layer upon layer. Like, you'd have a layer, and they'd put the sand down. There would another layer, put sand down. Another layer, put sand down. And so, when she said start to melt, it was like, it would get above freezing and by above freezing, still below 40 Fahrenheit. And,
That's great that it's like, it's technically springtime. Like, we went to an outdoor wedding. I'm going to call you out, Jessica and Arthur. I'm going to call you out hard. We went to Jessica and Arthur's wedding, and it was outdoor. The ceremony was outdoor in Texas on the last day of spring. So it was still technically spring.
Was it June?
Yeah, it was something out of control. It was like it was the day the first. It was the last day before summer technically started, or something like that. I think
it was June, May or June.
And I was like, it is 115 degrees out here, and everyone's dressed up. We were in all their pictures.
Oh yeah, it was before you went to Egypt, so yeah.
Yeah, we were in all their pictures because that was the only place that had the AC. Oh man. I called you out, Arthur. I called you out, Jessica. I'm not sorry. I'll do it again in a minute.
I'll call you out. I totally saw your video, Arthur, on the Longhorn Network channel.
He made a video for the Longhorn Network channel?
He made a video, and it starred his brother-in-law, and I thought, I've seen this video before, and then sure enough, at the end, it was like, filmed by Arthur Kendrick.
No way.
And then starring, as the talent, because it was kind of like, he filmed it, but then he went back and edited it and made it like a drawing type thing. I don't know what the technical term for those are. Anyways, and it was Ian Lindsay, Ian Lindsay. And so, it was a guy like roaming Austin. Oh.
We know people.
So, yeah, I saw that.
We know people. We're connected, pretentiously. Yeah. Anyway.
And not pretentiously.
So, I bring it up because Winter Beard this is it. This might be the last day, the last full day. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Saturday, but I think Winter is gone. Molly hates Winter Beard.
I don't hate it.
She says to me off air, I hate it. I hate it so much. It's the worst. You look like a squirrel is on your face. It's like a squirrel.
It's more like a chipmunk.
Like a chipmunk?
Yeah.
Not as long as I got to grow it out to be more squirrel-like?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe I'll keep growing it out. Get the raccoon status over here.
For it.
Like a big beaver. Like a small coyote. A fox. Anyway, so Winterbeard, probably seen the last of it for this winter. But,
which is the longest that it's been around, because our winter has been fairly cold.
Yeah, it started November.
Yeah, it's been cold since then. I mean, by cold, it definitely has gotten to 70s, but then it'll shoot back down, so.
When I think of what you want to hear about in our news, it's my facial hair.
And the weather.
That's why we tune in.
How's the weather? That's the question you ask when you don't know someone. So,
oh, no.
No, not me or you. I'm just saying that's not what you should ask.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, have you not been asked that question? Like,
tell me
how's
more about
the weather?
Your weather.
It's like, I don't want to talk about the weather, except we just did for like 5 minutes and we're still doing it.
Tell them what we typically ask people.
What's your favorite hobby?
But we don't.
Then we have to guess.
Yeah, we don't say, what is it, and then have you tell me. I say, what is it? Think about it in your head. Tell me when you have it.
We're both going to guess.
And then we'll guess it.
I have some go-tos.
Bike riding.
Mountain biking?
Yep.
Not just bike riding.
I say
mountain biking. Mountain biking. Because it always throws them off. They're always like, what? Do I look like a mountain biker?
Kind of you do.
Yeah, who doesn't? And so I say that, but then like reading and crafts.
I've done computers, reading, biking.
Video games.
And I've been right sometimes.
Yeah,
out of the blue.
I haven't been right about mountain biking ever.
Yeah, that's never been a thing.
But I'm still gonna say it.
Maybe one day someone will be like, I love mountain biking. I know people who do, but I know that about them before guessing, so it wouldn't count. But yeah, so I love whenever we meet new people and we're like, so tell us your favorite hobby, but let's guess first, because then you can talk about, like, you talk about something you're passionate about instead of like, so where are you from? Like, oh, I'm from Arkansas. Like, oh, are you passionate about it? Like, not really.
So what do you do for your job?
Yeah, if you're not passionate about it, whereas like your hobbies, when you're like, oh yeah, I love playing games. It's so much fun. Let me tell you about these renaissance of gaming. Like, there's so many titles out. Blah blah blah. Let's just end on that blah blah blah. Are we good with that? When you start saying blah blah blah, you have nothing else to say. That was the cardinal sin of videos. These vodcasts, as it were.
The cardinal
vlog.
sin is that you're still going.
Is that my cardinal sin?
We give away free glitter paintings, so make sure to subscribe now.
On YouTube, because it could be you that wins. We've presented the evidence.
You be the judge.
Can they hear you whispering? I don't think they can. You said, can you? Can you?